All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to some more Link to the Past Randomizer Tournament. Today we have hard open between Koi and azder. It's a rematch from yesterday. Yesterday, Koi took the race with a fortunate slash unfortunate GT Big Key location. That won't be an issue today, as we do not have to worry about keys at all. And here we go. Peace heart at the start. My name is Tracy M. Joining me today is Thoris. How you doing, Thoris?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Okay, so yeah, both start at Blind's house. Koi's gonna go ahead and take this to Uncle. azder's not gonna worry about those checks right now. We saw this a lot in. We saw people do what Koi's doing a lot in the qualifiers. I think it was more of a safer route, which makes sense in qualifiers. And Koi figures maybe he gains something out of this. So if there's something good here, it might be a while before azder gets there. But if there's something good in escape, it might be a while before Koi comes back. So.
It's definitely becoming a more meta play to check the uncle and the secret garden chest.
A whole lot of nothing on tree poles and crabs, at least nothing useful. And we have two boomerangs a minute into the race. Well, Koi will have boomerangs about a minute plus into the race. We see 300 on the lumberjack. We don't have to worry about that location.
I mean, Armos better watch out, because I mean that's two boomerangs, and Armos does deal.
I don't want to see any Armos boomerang fights. Thank you very much. I've seen Koi do it on his stream in cross keys races, but
yes, thankfully this is just the sort of hard mode or hard item pool open that we saw for the qualifiers. So open mode with a rather readjusted item pool.
Yeah, we're gonna see lots and lots and lots of heart pieces. That's a nicer tree pole that Koi grabs. I believe that he might be at tier 3 by now. I don't think he's taken a hit. But not exactly enough to make a huge difference. With the bombs that he'll find in the drop down, should be fine. Koi gonna see these 300 rupees, which would be really nice to have, but you're never gonna get them.
Yep, there's 4 other 300 rupees in the pills, I believe. So yeah, I'll go pick those ones up.
I mean, the only scenario is you had to do Aga anyway, and you're low on money for some reason. I don't see that happening. More pieces of heart, and more 20s. As you're 7 short of being able to guarantee bottle vendor with the pots.
Yeah, not too difficult to farm up the rest of the money you're missing for get that merchant out the way and not leave it behind.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what these two do. I know Koi has stated that he will jump down and he will make sure he gets the bottle vendor. azder may be a little bit more willing to give it up and pass on it for now. But we don't have to, because we just got a 20. Have we gotten anything of use here? A shovel. Have we gotten anything of use here?
Don't diss that shovel, it does open up a check. And one check could be all that's important.
And there's that bottle vendor with more money, so.
Yeah, it's a proper return on investment, that one.
And a mushroom, a shovel, and a mushroom. Oh my god. Can we get something that's not a fetch quest here? Like, literally anything? It's not a fetch quest. Yeah, chat calling it fetch quest village, yeah. Mm-hmm. That's still a fetch quest. There's just multiple fetch quests. That is a book.
You're just missing the powder, and we could have had like fetch quest assembled.
Yeah, but at least the powder is like useful for other things. Not a whole lot you can do with that shovel or that mushroom outside. I guess you could fake powder. And bombs in the library would be really, really nice to have. If we had boots, I think you'd grab them, but we don't, so we won't. I might have blind checked this. We've gotten so little, but it would have been a waste of time because that is just some arrows. Yeah, so race game is nothing.
Yeah, the frustrating thing about that shovel is you can't just save and quit now. You have to walk all the way to the
Yeah.
grove to use it, just to make sure it's not holding anything
Well,
important.
you know, I mean, I would bet on the shovel or the mushroom having something at this point. We've seen so little. Sword is good. It would not surprise me one bit if one or both of these runners just immediately does the fake flipped or mushroom thing and save scums it if it's nothing. So the shovel turns into a sword, so that's good. See, our first map check, we have a pendant. I think that was a green pendant at Hera. We have a red crystal at Desert and a regular crystal at Eastern.
I think it was just a red pendant that
A
was
red pendant?
at
Okay,
Hera.
well, I'm not quick enough with those map checks, so. Yeah, and azder is going to immediately turn in this mushroom. And I fully expect Koi to do the same. I also expect a reset if from both of them if this is nothing. Fake powder very rarely comes into play, but every once in a while. Yeah, that's a reset.
We have seen Magic Bat hold some important items. In
Yeah.
the past few matches I've seen, he's actually held the bowl.
Yeah, there was a race last night. It wasn't restreamed where Magic Bat had the needed medallion for Misery Mire, and one player sequence broke the item, and the other player got to powder very very late. So it was a very different go mode.
Oh, medallion being there is rough. At least with the bowl, you can
You
rule
know,
out
yeah,
where it needs to be. It's like
yeah,
medallion. Yep, that's just whenever you're in the neighborhood.
yeah. And Koi is going to do this fake flipper. Yeah, I mean, it's the right thing to do. Just get it over. It's early. I always say early fetch quests, late fetch quests. Those are the ones that are most likely to have things. Now, the fact that the shovel had something makes it a little less likely that this mushroom will also have something, but you don't want to leave that forever. And azder, because of the book, is going to head over to Desert. You'll probably come back for South Shore. I wouldn't be surprised if Koi does this too. You sometimes will do this play with just Agena available.
Definitely makes desert a lot more appealing, rather than the one check of Agina's cave. It's like, nope, we can now go into desert. We can find out if it's boots
Yep.
locked, which is usually a big thing.
We can get the ledge item, and we can't finish the dungeon because we don't have a fire source or a glove. So, very unlikely that these 3 or I guess 4 items will account for all that.
It's like we did pick up that sword though, so dealing with mini Moldorms is definitely going to be much safer.
Yeah, it looks like Koi is going to do kind of the opposite. He's going to go and do mini Moldorm and not do the dam. And then what he'll do after he's done with like Ice Rock Cave, he'll go circle back and do the dam and into Gina Desert. And I like that play too. I think either one of these is fine. And just some bombs sitting there on the ledge. With 6 and a sword, probably don't need any. Oh, a lamp and a master sword. So suddenly Aga is on the mind. Little early to call it that because once we got to the Dark World, we have almost nothing that we can do. So no one's gonna rush Aga.
Maybe that classic moon pearl on the pyramid ledge.
Yep, could be. We've seen that this tournament, so don't discount it. But yeah, I don't see it happening. And a compass means we are boots locked. And azder knows there are bombs, so he's just gonna save and quit. And we'll see mini Moldorm from him. As these runners will switch places. Ice Rod Cave is Piece of Heart. Oh, interesting. Azder's going to do Escape first. A little surprised. A little unfortunate because he won't have his lamp for Dark Cross, and he won't have the Master Sword to make it a little bit easier. But Dark Cross is one of the easier dark rooms to do if you want to do it. And as you're perfectly capable of going all the way to the back of Escape if he needs to. Koi's going to bet on Saha.
Again?
He's going to Saha. I don't know if he's going to Eastern. But this also makes sense because he knows this could be an Agaseed. So ideally, you would do the escape stuff, and then if it turns out to be an Agaseed, you can do it straight from there. But nope, not going to go into Eastern. So I think Koi is going to join Azder and Escape.
Yeah, so really we've only got the front of Escape and the first few chests in Eastern Palace before we actually have nothing else to check.
Yeah, well, that lamp will put Dark Cross in logic, and Koi will be able to do it easily. Azure probably does it anyway. Small Key could show up, in which case you might do the back. Small Key would have to show up in Dark Cross, so that's going to incentivize Azure to not do that location. Unless he finds the map. If he finds the map, then he'll know that it's either an item or a small key to get to 3 items. Koi, same thing. Koi might do it regardless because he has that lamp, but he also might not, again, because walking up to Dark Cross is slow, and it kind of sucks to walk up to Dark Cross and then find a map there.
Yeah, that small chance of the key being in the back is definitely the thing that pushes you away from it.
Yeah, I mean, if you know it's an item, I think you do it. But if you think if there's that chance it could be the map, then it's a little, yeah. I disagree with the statement that Koi will do Aga afterwards, because again, he has nothing to do once he gets there. He needs a Moon Pearl to even do anything, and he would need a hookshot or a bow, or even a glove or a hammer or single hammer. Any of those things would open stuff up in the Dark World. If you go to say this is Moon Pearl right here, we get it relatively soon, which this is not. And you go to the Dark World, and even if you have a Moon Pearl, and the ledge has, a heart piece or whatever, your only logical check is first chest pod. That's it. And if first chest pod isn't a key, then you have nothing. And you're going back to Eastern to figure out what you missed. Now, Eastern could just be a hook shot, could be a bow. I mean, there are things that could be in Eastern that still make this an Aga play, or it could be a glove and it would open up all of Death Mountain. So, I don't think this is. Koi will do Dark Cross, and then we'll see what happens from there. He is going to risk it being the map.
You go to Dark World, you find the Moon Pearl on the Pyramid Ledge, you then check the first chest in the pod and find some form of major progression.
Yeah, that's a lot of what ifs, though, when there's still an entire Eastern Palace that we haven't touched.
Think of the glory, though. The glory of doing it all to be right.
You want to do the thing that's going to make you win. So Koi's going to do
right. You definitely
Cross,
go to the winning.
No, not necessarily. It's a lot of game left to play. But unless this is a bow or a hookshot or a hammer, well, if it's a bow or a hookshot or a hammer, it'd be an awful risk to go to Aga now. It's just a small key, so it's more to be determined. We're going to go to the back. But if it's the glove, then you go up the mountain.
Oh yeah, definitely. You go up the mountain the vanilla way, you rescue the old man.
There's not a whole lot you can do there either, but having that save quit spot's certainly going to be nice.
So yeah, you get your item from the old man, and then you'll get the check of what's on Spectacle Rock and what's inside Spectacle Rock, but there's not much more than that.
Okay, as you're not immediately leaving from Ice Rod Cave, says it looks like he's going to check out Zora.
I didn't realize that was Koi's last bomb.
Oh, was it? Oof. Oh, there's the Moon Pearl. So now if you go to Aga, you have one chest in Logic. And you have your Pyramid Ledge in Logic. Let's see.
So it's the time commitment of how long
Yeah,
it takes
no,
to do
Koi's
Aga for
going to
2
Eastern.
items versus however many you find in Eastern.
Yeah, so Koi's going to go ahead and... Oh, he's going to go buy bombs first. Okay. Don't really need them for Eastern. Without a Moon Pearl, Azure can't even do the Waterfall Fairy, so that's kind of unfortunate. Koi just checking out what's on Lake Hylia Island. Just a piece of heart. And he's walking back towards the house, which says maybe he's going to go ahead and bet on Aga right now. Or, oh no, he
Yeah,
hasn't
I
done the
think
desert area yet. Oh, I totally forgot about desert. He's got that book, so it leads him over here, and it makes a lot of sense to check it out.
as well, now that he has Zora money, you might do fake flippers to Waterfall, get those two plus whatever
Now,
Zora's selling.
Koi is very anti-fake flipper. I would be shocked if he does it. But we'll see. I could be wrong. He's proven me wrong before. He proved me wrong yesterday going into Eastern. Okay, this is probably Saha and maybe Eastern for Azder. Which mean, and if this is nothing, when he goes to, he's going to get to back of escape at some point. If it's a glove, that's great for him. He can just go ahead and do the back of escape from the back. If it's anything else, I mean, I guess yeah, no, there's literally nothing else that could be here that's going to keep him from back of escape in some form or another. Because he won't have a Moon Pearl to use any Dark Gold Axis he might get here.
Yeah, that Moon Pearl is definitely in a rough place without any form of lift upgrade.
Yeah. So Azure will gain time if there's a glove in Eastern, and or if there's a bow. I mean, if there's a bow in here, that'll be good for him too. Of course, the glove would take him. Yeah, I don't know how far. Wait, it depends on where things like hook shots and mirrors are, because there's just not that much on the mountain. I mean, you probably do it just to at least get the save quit spot, but let's see what Eastern has for us. I feel like there's got to be there's one more piece of the puzzle that we're missing. Whether it be a hookshot or a bow to give you more stuff in the Dark World, whether it be even a hammer, whether it be... I think we're going to find one thing here. And just a question of
Definitely
what
a
that
rough
one thing
start
is.
for most of the seats.
Oh, yeah. But I do think this is going to end up being an Agaseed. But I think the runners are right in not pulling that trigger earlier. Just because, again, there's just... Like, Koi talks about it all the time. Like, yeah, I can go kill Aga, and then what? Well, I have one in logic check. No, sorry, two. You had the Pyramid Ledge, and you had the first chest of Pod. That's it. That's all you got. Obviously, Pod doesn't have to be Bollock, so you might get more there, but... Okay, we'll see if Koi takes the gamble, or if he heads over to Eastern. I know he hates Eastern, too, so... It's a tough call.
Which one do you hate more?
With nothing to get me anything in the Dark World, I hate Aga more. If I have literally any of the items that I've talked about, the glove, the hammer, the bow, the hookshot, then I would not be doing Eastern here. And this last big key chest is in logic with that lamp.
The very few times we actually see this done with the lamp and logic.
This might be... I mean, this could legit be a hard required lamp. I guess... No, I take that back. Obviously, you can do all this stuff without the lamp, and wherever the fire rod is, it is, but... Certainly is going to be very logically required at this point. We have one more chance to get something useful in Eastern.
There's a 50-50 between the map and an item.
It is the item. Wow. Okay, so the game wants us to go do Aga with nothing. Azure hopefully chooses to go do Back of Escape first. It is Moon Pearl. He's going to have to do it regardless. It's just if he doesn't do it first, then he's going to have to do it afterwards. He'll lose time by not being able to walk over to Pod to the one other location where he has an item. And it makes sense because even if the Moon Pearl's sitting there on the pyramid ledge, which is the only place it can be, that gives you one more check. You know. And I expect him to try and take a whole bunch of damage here so that he can death warp out of the back. Okay, or he could, I guess he's just checking his stun prize, but I don't know that's really what you want here when you know you're probably going to death warp out of this. If he doesn't have a quick
bombs,
he doesn't. You're right.
He might
That's
be trying
what he's
to
looking
farm
for.
one of those.
That is a problem because he's not getting bombs here. He's getting the small key, and I do not see a bomb prize pack. So, yeah, that's what he's killing things for, and I don't think we're in a bombs prize pack. Maybe this might have been the one with the small magic. I did not see what the first. Yeah, he's saving and quitting. He's going to go buy bombs and start this over. So that's going to lose him a bit of time. As you still need bombs. Okay, maybe he's just going to do the Aga play first and then hope it's the Moon Pearl. I think that's what we're seeing. Okay.
Just accepting that it's cost you enough time at this point and skipping it.
I mean, maybe it's a glove. It could be a glove sitting there on the ledge, in which case it won't actually cost him any time. But literally anything else, it will cost him time. Koi now knows this has to be an Aga seed. He could try and fake Flipper and do the Waterfall Fairy. I don't see him doing that. I mean, there's got to be something either on that pyramid ledge or in the first chest of pod. And if the answer is on the pyramid ledge, then even if it's not a glove, it won't be a huge thing. But if it's a glove, that'd be perfect. Obviously, we're just going to get small keys in here. Azure, of course, is hoping it's just a Moon Pearl and there's nothing in the back. We know that's not going to happen. Yeah, chat's saying glove or hammer ideally, but a hook shot opens up the most things. Hammer opens up things like Hype Cave. But at this point, I expect it to either be glove, hammer, hook, or bow. Those are the things that'll open things.
Well, possibly the most annoying one, because then you have to come back to the light road to go up Death Mountain.
Yeah. I mean, I guess theoretically, it can't even, we've gotten all the fetch quest items except powder. And unless it's, hammer and powder, that's not going to be what we see there either.
I think the worst thing you can also see is the flippers, because then that would scream that if you had done fake flippers.
Oh yeah, that's a really really good point. That is one item that can open things up for you, and not in a good way. Especially with Azure having already done Zora. And Azure didn't get any bomb drops, so he's still going to have to buy bombs after all of this. Okay, as you're in the Aga fight, Koi about to join him.
Is it at least going to be a fast fight with no blue balls, or is it going to be a long, drawn-out one?
Well, I haven't seen a blue ball yet, but you know that's going to curse the runners into a blue ball. Exactly, and there it is. There's that blue ball. Here we go. Not too bad. I think it was just the one. And we get to see what's on the pyramid ledge.
Moment of truth. Is it in the pyramid ledge, or is it in that first chest of pod?
It's the first chest of pod. Oh my god. Okay, so Azure needs to buy bombs and go to the back of escape. It's the only thing left to him. And yeah, and we'll see the first chest of pod on Koi's side.
See, you should go with the guts and all glory play. It works all the time. When it works, it works. When it doesn't work,
I mean,
it's just another seed.
Yeah. It's a call. I'm just not. I personally, I will rush Aga, but I will only rush Aga if I have something to do in the Dark World. Literally any of the items that I've talked about would get me to go do that play early. And we're not even guaranteed a hook shot that with that green pendant over at Swamp. I think the other pendant pod.
It was ice.
It was ice. Okay,
And
I knew it was over on that
other
that side.
Is in mire.
So Koi was gonna have a bit of a lead here. Not sure why Azra's going down to Uncle. We've checked this. I know he's checked this already, so I'm confused here. Oh, yeah. Chat pointing out that he has to go this way because the Aga portal's there. Don't see this every day. As you're very heads up and remembering that. I would have walked right into the portal and been like, whoops.
Yep, I would have forgotten as well. That's frustrating. That would definitely have made me go to the skate first, even if I didn't have bombs the first time around.
Yeah, but again, he knows there's going to be something on the, there's a 50-50 chance of something on the pyramid ledge, so it makes sense to gamble. And that's, you're going to have to do Aga anyway, unless Back of Escape could have had 2 items, so it would have to have been... No, you have to do Aga anyway, because he literally needs 3 items to avoid it, and Back of Escape at most had 2. And the item is a small key. We gotta wait a little bit longer for Pod to give up its goods.
The answer is unclear. Please try again later.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, it's the last chest you pick up. And a shield, so we're still... So this next chest... is this a small key or is this something? Another small key.
It is playing the teaser game right now.
Yeah, is Koi gonna mimic clip? Or is he just gonna... No, he's gonna walk up. I don't know if Koi mimic clips. We don't have a bottle to do the potion camera unlock. Azure does mimic clip, so it wouldn't surprise me if he does it. Of course, since Swamp, and even more so with Ice a pendant. More so Swamp, of course, but Ice also has hookshot logic to it. Have to do the proverbial "can they hover" statement. Azure can hover, but only in the sense of if I don't have the hookshot and I absolutely have to get across Moldorm 2, I can. Koi cannot hover, but I know he has learned the Moldorm bounce and absolutely despises doing it. I think he recently made a list of his least favorite things in the game, and I believe Moldorm Bounce came in #1. So if this ends up being a proverbial hover seed, it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. And we're still looking for whatever we need to find here in Pod. I expect to see a mimic. Yeah, I do expect to see a mimic clip from Azure, so we're going to see a little bit more on his side. We do at least have the big key, so we can check the big chest.
Yeah, so I think Koi's doing this to save the key so he can check that chest in the center.
Oh, yeah. Does the flute doesn't get us anything new? No, it does. It gets Death Mountain. We didn't have Death Mountain yet.
It gets us the two.
Yeah.
Death Mountain.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was thinking we had Death Mountain because we had Lamp. We don't have a glove yet, so. Yeah, Azure's gonna do the mimic clip. This makes sense because I don't think he has the big key yet. So he wants to make sure that he has it to be able to do all the back checks. So Azure's gonna be able to full clear this dungeon. Not gonna be a huge deal that Koi didn't do this unless there's something good here. Azure knows there's probably not anything good, but it does mean that he has a potentially quicker path back through Pod when the time comes. And there's a bomb drop finally. Thanks, game. So I'm guessing there's going to be one small key on the right side here, because that flute had to be in logic if there's two small keys on the right side, and the flute's not in logic. As you're having a little bit more trouble than I'm used to seeing him have on this mimic clip. But there it is. He gets it. I think he's going to know. Ice Rod is interesting. We need that. So Koi's not going to be able to skip that. So that's good news for Azure. And there's our glove, finally. Thanks, game. It opens exactly nothing at this point.
One step closer to our Dark World, though.
Yeah. So we got 2 items in the front. So Azure knows that the big key chest is just a small key. So he's going to be able to skip it. Koi will also be able to skip that. Because the only way, to his mind, the only way it can be anything but a big key is if there's 2 items on the right side. Or sorry, 2 keys on the right side. But if there were 2 keys on the right side, his flute would be out of logic, and then we would have this uncompletable seed in terms, logically speaking. So. Oh, now Koi is going to do the fake flipper.
Yeah, it makes sense. The glove now puts Zora in logic.
It does. It's true. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of new stuff. We have Catfish, as chat points out, and we have Zora now in logic. But Zora is not the answer. We know that. But if you're going to do the fake flipper stuff anyway, you may as well do the other stuff. Although I'm not a huge fan of this check because it really, to me, doesn't pair with the other fake flipper checks. It's super out of the way. You have to do an extra fake flipper. Aster's gonna get his flute soon. Koi will get his $300 rupee refund from Zora, and we'll see what's in the waterfall cave. So real curious to see what's in Waterfall Fairy here. Whole lot of nothing. So as you're having already done this, he's not going to do a fake flipper to do the Zora checks. The answer is probably Catfish at this point. I mean, Azure will go to the mountain first because the flute leads you there. He'll get his glove. And then, I don't know, did Koi, I assume Koi check Spectacle Rock? I didn't see. But I think, assuming he did, that is Catfish. That means progression on Catfish. Koi gets his refund.
Yeah, check confirming that Spectacle Rock has nothing, so likelihood Catfish is where we need to be.
I mean, it's the only place we have. That's all we got, is Catfish. In or out of logic.
People talking about Desert Palace, it is not expected within logic for you to steal the key from the back.
It is, yeah. Desert, yeah,
So
no one's going to steal the key. No one's stealing the key. We saw a compass or a map, I forget which, in the one chest you can always get to, which means there's a key, a small key, or a big key sitting on the torch. Either way, we can't get it until we have boots. And I can't imagine... You're not going to steal the key for 2 out-of-logic checks when you have this check that Koi's about to do as your only thing left that is in logic. That just would be silly. And chat rightly pointing out that no one's going to Catfish without wasting a ton of time. Just... This seed has been super breadcrumby. This could still be a hookshot or a bow. Actually, the bow doesn't open anything new. So it could still be a hookshot. Or oh my god, it's a bottle! Are you kidding me?
Drip feeding.
Wow! Oh my god. Okay, Sick Kid, what do you got for us? And remember, everyone, we started this off with nothing in Kakariko except a shovel that turned into a sword that turned out to be hard required, so... There it is! We got a hookshot now. We can do East Death Mountain. We can do... walk over to Village Outcasts. I'm going to expect East Death Mountain first. From both runners. Koi's already fluted there.
Yeah, Village of Outcasts, well, is nice. It's slow to get there when you have to walk.
Yeah, Koi's probably really happy to get that hook shot because he knows he doesn't have to worry about this being a hover seed or for him a Moldorm bound seed anymore. Azur's gonna have mixed feelings because I know he doesn't hover very well, but might feel advantaged knowing that he's not going up against a really good hoverer. Yeah, it didn't have to be hookshot. I think hookshot and hammer were what we had left. Bow doesn't open enough. We've seen all the flippers checked, so we know it's not there. Boots maybe could have opened a few things. That'd be possible. But yeah, it was highly favored to be either hookshot or hammer. A hammer for just regular dark rolled axis, or hookshot for exactly what Koi's doing, and for the Aga dark rolled axis. Yeah, mitts also would have served the same purposes as hammer. There's those flippers. Which we don't need. We do not need flippers this seed at all. There's nothing behind the flippers. We've seen nothing behind the flippers. I take it back. We don't know it's in ice. We don't know it's in swamp. But theoretically, those are pendant dungeons we aren't going to go to.
You would hope, but then again, you never know where this randomizer has decided to put those all-important items.
Yeah. Okay, Koi's going to finish out his mountain check. Sadly, well, I was about to say sadly we can't do Hera, but it's a pendant anyway, so we might not want to do it. We got some boots. Good to have boots right before Spiral Cave, because Spiral Cave much better. Yeah, chat's already coming up with ways that flippers could be needed. Yeah, I mean, obviously we don't know what's in those dungeons. It looks like Koi's just going to go ahead and do desert, which makes a lot of sense here.
Yep, boots were the last tool we needed to finish it. We've already seen the flipper checks. There's no point in following the flippers. So you've either got finish desert or go to Village of Outcasts. Or Bonk Rocks.
Let's see what Azure goes ahead and chooses. And I think this is I don't want to go to Thieves Town without the hammer, so let me do the other thing that I can do before I head over towards Thieves Town. The other reason you might do this first is because Mirror might never show up to put this in logic otherwise, and you have the book, so... Azure's going to go ahead and do Bonk Rocks first. Just get a piece of heart for his trouble. And he's going to flute away. We'll see where he flutes to. And there's our last fetch quest item. With some powder. I think Azure's going to finish following those flippers, which is a little unfortunate because we know there's nothing there. I don't think he'll do the man under the bridge, but I think he's just gonna get these 2 pieces of heart and probably leave and go elsewhere.
Yeah, Hobo's a much slower check compared to the rest of the world that seems to have opened up.
Yeah, looks like he's going back to the whirlpool, so he is doing it. I'm a little surprised. I mean, I would think he'd be feeling behind after his troubles getting that moon pearl. Yeah, to answer the chat, there's a lot of things that are in logic because that hookshot gets us over to Village Outcasts. There's a lot of things that runners can do. And Koi just decided to go for the crystal dungeon immediately. That was what the big thing the hookshot did for us. Okay, Azure, what are we doing now? Yeah, looks like Azure's just gonna go straight to Village of Outcasts. So far, he's only missed powder in desert, which probably doesn't matter. I don't know if we've gotten the second item here or not. Has a shot at a much faster Landmo fight if he comes back with even just another sword or he already has a faster Landmo fight because he's got the Ice Rod, but Ice Rod's tricky for Landmo. It's much better if you have a Fire Rod.
I believe the second item was a piece of heart that we got on the right side of desert.
Okay, then desert items just powder's good. I always like to have it. I call it my favorite luxury item, but unless there's something a magic bat, it's not gonna be a game changer.
Yeah, it's another one of these to be determined whether or not it's actually useful or not.
I mean, it's always useful because you can do, because you can, get free refills and such, unlike the mushroom or the shovel. But whether it's required and is a totally different story. Oh, okay. Koi was just doing. I was trying to figure out what Koi was doing. He's just using this instead of saving and going to Sanctuary to get Bonk Rocks. That makes sense. It's like Azur's going to do Front of Skull Woods before heading over to Thieves Town, which without the hammer makes a lot of sense. And now Koi's going to have no choice but to take the long walk. Well, long run, because we have boots. Towards Village Outcast with the hook shot.
It definitely makes it a much more bearable trip.
As you're going to wait for the hand to give him a free ride out. Sadly, just getting the map there. And he didn't steal the small key, so if he doesn't get a small key in this first chest, I don't think he finishes anything else in this dungeon. Or just doesn't finish the dungeon. Okay, or, he's just going to drop down. Well, there's going to be a small key to get him out of here, so this is fine. Yeah, there's a small key. There's an item. It's not an item we want or care about, but it is an item. Looks like Koi also going to go into Skullwood, so no time loss here. Just another small key, and he's gonna have to walk out of here because a hand will put him back in the drop down. So I believe that means the last item is going to be in the back, or there will be a big key leading to the item in the big chest. The runners will have used about the same amount of time looking through this dungeon, though. Right now, the advantage that Koi has is he's already done Desert. The advantage that azder has, he already has the Ice Rod out of Pod on the right side. How even out those will be will depend on a lot of things. One of the things it'll depend on is will azder be able to backdoor into Desert with a mirror? And what items he has when he goes and does Desert. And to answer chat, yeah, this is a non-progressive bow, so we need the actual bow, whichever that is. Ice Rod in a spot that I don't see Koi missing, so it's just going to be all that Ice Rod location really means is that when Koi gets to Pod, when he does it later, he's not going to be able to go mode it. He's going to have to go to the right side, which will, even things out a little bit. As you're into Thieves Town, we'll see if he decides to complete it. I suspect he will. Because it's so annoying to come back to this. We'll see if we get a small key up front. Koi avoided Thieves Town without a small key in yesterday's race. So we'll see if he makes the same decision, but I kind of think he will too, because again, for the same reason. It's such a long way back. I don't think we have an item in front here, because I don't think we've seen the big key. Yeah, there's the big key in its vanilla location. I think it was a 3-item front too, and if that's the case, and we'll see when Azure menus, we can tell for sure. It makes it very unlikely. It means 50-50 that the small key is even in a place that he'll allow him to orphan the big chest. And then beyond that, it's like would be then 1 in 3 that the item is the one we care about, or the item location is the one we care about. Reminder that this is the non-quick swap matchup. So if you've noticed no quick swapping, your eyes are not deceiving you. These are, to my knowledge, the only two prominent members of the community that do not use quick swap.
Yeah, I'm partially for or against quick swap. Like, it's helpful, but there are occasions where you kind of rely on it too long, and it's like, it would have been quicker just to menu this.
I mean, I use it, and I use it badly. I personally don't like it because we don't get to see a player like players like azder and Koi who spend a ton of time learning how to menu properly. Andy's another one that knows how to menu. Airy, really, really good menuer, and we lose that aspect. And like someone like Airy who's really good at menuing, even he's going to lose a little bit of time to quick swap because he's no longer going to have that menu advantage, and I think it's a shame. Then again, I've also yet to find the fun that everybody keeps talking about with quick swap, so I'm a little biased there too. Okay.
Yeah, I think the best hiccup is always quick swap to mirror in the mirror of your dungeon when you defeat the boss.
Yeah, I personally, I'm a big fan of, or the X, not fan of, like, it's not really, you don't really want this to happen to people, but I do laugh a little bit when you get the accidental quick swap to mirror out of the back of a dungeon, which seems to happen a lot, in particular on in Misery Mire, because you're trying to get to a bow. Yeah, the small key is locking itself in the big chest, so neither one of these guys is going to get punished for skipping out on the big chest. And with this item, with no key, this is not in logic without the small key, but on the other, so this cannot be like hammer or something, but it's going to be really nice that they don't have to come back here. Because coming back here, if you don't find a hammer, maybe you find your second glove to get regular Dark World axes, is really long. I guess if you get the glove, it's not so bad, but yeah. Knowing you don't have to come back here for anything is a really good feeling. And Koi's gonna have to be careful. These crickets will one-shot him at this point. And nothing interesting in Thieves Town, but we do get a crystal. This will be azder's first. Koi will get his second when he finishes.
It's a notch on the board considering we're 50 minutes in and that's azder's first.
Ooh, Koi, no! Okay, that's gonna give some time back to azder. And to answer chat, I saw a mention of only the big key is hammerlocked. No, the entire back of the dungeon is hammerlocked. Because or key locked or whatever, however you want to put it, because you can use yours. As I always say, the key, no pun intended, to understanding key logic is to remember that is to always ask yourself, can I use my keys in a bad way that'll lock me out of a location? And in this case, the answer is yes. So, why a blind cannot drop a small key. So you're absolutely this is absolutely not in logic, but you do it anyway, and you happily do it anyway because you know it's not going to hurt you because the small key is sitting in the big chest.
Yeah, I still want to find the one person that picks up a key in a room with a locked door and goes, you know what, I'm not going to use that there.
Yeah. Okay, so we're down to Hype Cave. So Koi now happy that he doesn't have to worry about the big chest. The Hype Cave's gotta have something, because again, we're running out of things to do. Those 50 rupees aren't it.
Makes the bat more of a play again.
Bat's not a play until we get hammer. Well, there's a mirror. And a bombos. Well, that's disgusting.
Swamp, anyone? Swamp Palace? It's right there. It's right there.
It's right there. We also have K45. We also have Bombos Tablet. Graveyard Ledge suddenly becomes an option. I think Azur's going to at least do 2 of those. Well, he's at least going to do K45, it looks like. We'll see if he does Bombos first. Pen and Swamp. This is not where you want to be. It also means that unless the bat is relevant for getting into desert, Azder's going to be able to pair desert with Meyer when the time comes. As you're fooling me into thinking that he might grab that piece of heart, but no, he just wanted the heart from the pot. I think you at least do Bombo's Tablet here before you do Swamp Palace, but Graveyard Ledge is a tough ask to do before Swamp. So it wouldn't surprise me if this is going to be a Swamp Dip.
Yeah, Graveyard Ledge being a one-off check that takes a little
So
bit of
far
trouble
out of the
down.
way. Yeah, it's so far out of the way. Although Swamp is only one item. We don't have a hammer. I have a bad habit of forgetting that little detail. But since it's only a pendant, I think you check it.
But it's the legendary first chest of Swamp.
Yeah,
It holds so
okay.
much value.
Azur's just going to do desert right now. That totally makes sense. For him, it's 2 items. He'll get that powder. We'll have to see what Koi decides. I expect Koi to do the 2 checks that Azure did, and then I would not be surprised if he jumps into the first chest of Swamp. Because he's got less left. He's already done desert.
Yeah, I think chat mentioned earlier the other alternative is we go back up the mountain and go to Pendant Hera.
Yeah, that is an alternative. Swamp is 7 items. Hera is 1. Sorry, 2. Uh, 2 plus Ether Tablet, yeah. So 3 in that area. Doesn't mean Swamp's the right answer. Could very easily be not Swamp. And Bombos will also open up Ice Palace if we get Mitts anytime soon. If the answer is Graveyard Ledge, I expect both these runners to last location or near last location it.
In fact, can we not do King's Tomb as well? Because we have the boots. We can mirror into
Oh yeah,
the
yeah, that's true.
graveyard
So
section.
so it's 2 items there. That's a little bit better. I was thinking, yeah, you're absolutely right. I was thinking Graveyard Ledge is all on its own, but no, you're right. We have boots, so King's Tomb is doable as well.
It's coming down to a choice of bad plays, but which bad play do you make?
I know, right? It's exactly what it's coming down to. And soon they're going to be even, because Koi will be a little bit ahead, because he's now done all the checks that Azur's done, and plus he's already finished Desert. So he's essentially a Landmo ahead. Okay, I think we're going to see King's Tomb and Graveyard Ledge from Koi. I'm a little surprised he didn't do... I mean, first chest Swamp is slow, but I'm maybe a little surprised he didn't do it anyway. Yeah, Azure gets quite a few Ice Rod shots, but doesn't quite finish him off. So we'll end up with a 3-round, it looks like, here. Oh, maybe if we'll have one more shot. And to answer chat, no, you can't. In normal modes, you cannot do the Smith without the Mitts. You might be thinking of inverted. There is a way to do it. There's some glitch ways you can do it in general, but none of those are race legal, so we won't be seeing those. Okay, Azure, what are you choosing? You're choosing Hera. I like this better than the King's Tomb Graveyard Ledge play, but it's just a 3 versus 2, so it's not that much better. And unfortunately for Koi, looks like the game agrees with me. We'll see where he goes next. Probably going to follow azder up to the mountain.
The 3 checks on the mountain versus the 1 check in Swamp Palace.
Yep. Yeah, I liked the check in Swamp House when they were already in that area. Once you leave, then it's your last location.
There seems to be a common theme so far for the.
I know, right? Oh my god, this. I refer to the. I use the term breadcrumb seed, which means it's going to be very linear, and the seed is going to give you one thing at a time to get you to the next step. This has been this seed, and we get a small key, which means. Let's see, is this going to be an item here? It's the mitts. Okay, that's things. Yeah, azder's just gonna leave. I like this choice. I could see finishing the dungeon if it was the big key, but I like the choice to not finish it in this situation because the mitts open up things right here. If he wants to go back after doing these miss checks, he still can. I don't think he will. But with the small key, you have to either decide to Harapot and then you risk leaving an item behind, or you have to go down the basement and do tile room, get your actual big key. I mean, it's a good chance that the item's not in the big chest, but not a guarantee. And I think Koi's gonna do the same thing, yeah.
Yeah, they play to leave and just check like Dark Death Mountain while you're here because you've got Super Bunny Cave, you've got Hookshot Cave.
Yep, exactly.
There's just so much potential for items outside that 1 check in Hera.
Plus, both are gonna. I mean, ideally. Oh, silver's just nice. It's not our bow. Ideally, you'll check ped when you finish Skullwoods, and you'll be able to do so. We're a fire rod away from that, but. So a lot of things open up with those mitts. So now we can go into Ice Palace if we want to, which would hammerless ice. Ooh. We can go into we can do Smith Chain, which isn't too bad because we do have the mirror.
You can also check out good old Mire Shed. That tends
We
to
can
be
check. Yeah, that's a good one. Also, we have a Bombos for Turtle Rock, and both our runners have Bombos, so that's good. Yeah, I think you're right. I like that. I like that choice better than anything I just said.
Gonna sting a little bit for azder, considering azder's just recently done Desert.
I know, right? Oh well. I mean, if he never checks Graveyard Ledge and King's Tomb, he has a bit of a lead. And actually, doing those two is probably a little bit slower than it'll take Koi to get the Ice Rod, so it's really close in terms of what they've done and not done respectively. And do we see another Bombos? Yeah. Oh, there's our hammer! Yay! About time. Okay, so what do we even need in this seed? We need a Cane of Samaria, we need a Fire Rod, and we need a bow. That is our go mode. We'll see if azder dips Mire at this point. It's a tough call, but your other options are not great.
without Kane, no, I don't imagine you.
Well, okay, so what are your other options? Your other options are Caneless Ice Palace, and Pendant Swamp. So they're all bad options. They're all such awful options. If either Swamp or Ice were a crystal, yeah, you'd head there. Yeah, chat pointing out that Ped's in Logic. Let's see. We have because yep, Ped is in Logic. As you're trying to decide what item to use in Mire 2 here. Looks like Koi also gonna go into Mire. I think I like this choice. You're right here. Coming back through this dungeon later is not really slow. If the big key is I mean, if this is a God Mire with a good big key location, you hope not for that. Get a small key to start off with. And another small key. So we found 2 small keys so far.
It's definitely holding out on anything useful.
Let's see what we get over here. If this is the big key, then I don't think you do cutscene here. But if it's not, I just do it now because then I know that the other item can't be a big key and it's going to be highly favored to be an item. Okay, or you just do it because you know it's the big key and you just got the small key. That's actually, for this situation, this is a really good key layout. Both runners are going to basically take the same route through this dungeon. Every once in a while, you'll see someone do the lobby chest before they do the compass chest. I don't think I've ever seen Koi do that, so I expect him to do exactly this route that Azder's doing. But this is really nice because you know you have to do cutscene. You know your opponent has to do cutscene. You have 2 more chests on the right side, one of which will have an item. No, wait, we already got a... Do we? No, the hammer was in Myra shit. Never mind. So... And then when you come back later, you just go straight to the boss, which is not... You know, this is one of the quicker dungeons, I think, when you can go straight to the boss. And then you get a Swamp versus Ice choice. And for Azure, also versus King's Tomb and Graveyard Ledge. But I don't think he goes there, because I think he would have gone there before the mountain if he was going to do that. We'll see. And
do you play into your item densities?
I would do Swamp because I don't have Cane. If I were choosing between those 2 dungeons and I had Cane, I'd do Ice every time. Just right, a mirror out. Oh, nice, Tempered Sword. And we got both our items, neither of which... I mean, it's you're not going to turn down a Tempered Sword, but it's not what you're looking for right now.
Yeah, with Tempered Sword being the biggest upgrade to your sword that you can really get, it's like you definitely don't want to turn that down.
Yep, absolutely. And Azra's going to bet on Ice Palace. We'll see if Koi does the same. I think Koi's going to go Swamp, though. In the end, it could be that both are required, so, you know. Sadly, Ped is super out of the way to go check at this point. Ideally, if an item's on Ped, you want it to not be the Fire Rod, because you want to be able to check Ped when you go back to Skullwoods. Koi also counting his items. He mirrors out. Let's see where he goes.
Like, this is where heroes are born. Choose Pendant Swamp, and it'll be in the first chest.
No, Koi's gonna do something different. Oh, he's gonna do Smith Chain. Wait, was that a cane?
I take it back. Red Cane's in the ice.
Oh, that's good for Azure. Oh my god. So that opens up things. I was about to say it opened up Turtle Rock, but it's only the first chest. Yeah, I totally forgot about Smith Chain. It's a perfectly reasonable check to do, and he's got the powder, so it's like 4 items on this. All right, we got a cane so far. The other problem with Ice Palace is if there's not an item on the boss, you have to make the decision to finish it or not, since we don't know the status of Pedestal yet. That's the second item. I don't know if he got the big key, and I know he didn't hit the switch. Yeah, that mire being a red crystal is kind of unfortunate here, because if it wasn't, you could just leave it to the end. You don't have to rush it. But you might want to, you might see Azure do it earlier, just because he can then get the Pyramid Fairy check-in. But, you killed Aga, so you get a slightly quicker Pyramid Fairy chest. And Azure says, I'm out of here. Double checking his pendants and crystals. Azure does not track, so you'll see him every once in a while double check his map, just to find out, to make sure he knows what his pendants and crystals are. It looks like he's gonna go straight back to Mire and finish up the dungeon so he can do Pyramid Fairy. And he might combine Pyramid Fairy with Catfish and King's Tomb to get the nothing that's there. So far, we haven't seen much here at the Smith Chain. Koi gonna grab that purple chest. Yeah, so for those of you that missed the beginning of this, we had quite the chain for Dark World Axis. Moon Pearl was in the back of the escape, which you had to do from the front because we didn't have a glove. It was an Agaseed, and the Agaseed gave us bow on purple chest. Oh, that's huge for Koi. So he's going to go back and finish Pod and Eastern. Get his Ice Rod. Okay, so getting back to the chain, we had... Pod had a flute, so we get to the mountain to get our glove on the old man. So we go back to get to Catfish, to get a bottle, to go to Sick Kid, to get a hook shot. And that started opening things up finally. Yeah, so this is a question of who does the really icky check first. Azure, will Azure do Smith Chain into purple chest before Koi does Ice Palace without a cane?
And we're still one of these cases where the bad choices, regardless of which one you chose, seems to have given you something back for it.
Yep. We still don't have a fire rod, so. Both runners are missing items in really bad locations, so. We could see them both in Swamp Palace before they do the thing that they need to do. That is still a possibility.
I mean, Fire Rod is their go mode at this point, so
yep.
Yeah, if it ends up in Pendant
Fire Rod is no mode. Whichever one. We don't know if it'll be their go mode, because they could get Fire Rod before they get the other thing they're missing.
Okay, from our perspective, go mode is the Fire Rod.
Yeah, it's no. Yeah, we call that no mode because we know what the item is that the runners are missing. The runners, either are or are not in go mode. Okay, so purple chest has the bow. First chest in Ice Palace has the Cane of Samaria. Each one has one of those things. I do expect a Pyramid Fairy check here. Otherwise, there's no reason to go straight back to Mire like Azure did. Pod Big Chest is not on. Koi is full cleared Pod except for those two right side items. And now has full cleared Pod except Helma. Mitts were in Tower of Hera. Pendant Hera, I might add. Yeah, this is Pyramid Fairy for azder.
So I like this play in seeds that have been relatively barren in terms of their progression.
Mm-hmm. And the one nice thing about an Agaseed is when you turn in the big bomb for Pyramid Fairy, you have that nice little portal to get you there faster. No Fire Rod there. No Fire Rod on Helma. And I think Azur's going to take this to Graveyard Ledge and King's Tomb. And he might just stay in the Dark World and go all the way to, or Flute. Yeah, I guess with the Flute, it's faster to Flute over there. Oh, maybe not, because you have to go back into the portal. We'll see what he does. Thinking he might, take this all the way back to Village of Outcasts and do Smiths, but we'll see.
Yes, from our perspective, it's definitely the best play he can make at this moment.
Okay, as you're seeing the nothing that is Graveyard Ledge, he's going to stay in the Light World, which makes sense because he can just flute away from this to wherever he wants to go next. I think this is probably the fastest way to do this, no matter where you're going. And it's actually starting to look like, we don't. I'm pretty certain we don't have an item here on the Armos Knights. It's starting to look like Fire Rod may very well still be hanging out there at Swamp Palace. And Azur's fluting to 3, which says he's doing Smiths, which means he'll get his bow from the purple chest. I mean, it's 4 items, and you can, if you wanted, depending on how he decides to do this, you could do the mirror trick from the Dark World and then go to Swamp right afterwards. But if he gets that bow, I don't think he goes into Swamp. I think he goes and finishes Pod in Eastern, and then we'll see where that Fire Rod ends up being. I see chat calling for Fire Rod in Turtle Rock.
It's definitely not nice when it turns up in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like, depending on the key layout, it can be either the first chest or it can be really deep.
Okay, Koi, where are you going? He's thinking. Oh, he's gonna do ice. So interesting, both runners essentially doing the things that they need to do to catch up to what the other one has. It'll be interesting to see if Koi will leave with the cane, will finish the dungeon, or if he'll do what Azure did, which was mirror out after he gets gets all 3 items. All are very viable plays, so. And I can't say for sure that mirroring out right away with the cane is the best choice because we still don't know what pet is. But he'll be happy to find the cane that he can keep going with. Koi leaving with the cane.
Like, it's taking a gamble because I know a lot of people say that if you can't find the Fire Rod and you've got bombos to get into ice,
yeah,
usually
the
in
fire
ice.
thing, the rule of fire. I like the play to leave Ice Palace when you get the item you're looking for right at the beginning. And in Koi's case, he's looking just for 1 item. And this is going to be a 2-item play here, because he'll probably do Pyramid Fairy as well. Azder's leaving that purple chest behind in the Dark World. That tells me that he's got Swamp on his mind. And interestingly enough, with only one item left in Pod Eastern... Okay, he's going to go do it now. I thought it was possible that he might just choose to go into Swamp right now. I do believe Helma did have an item. Chat can help me out with that if I'm wrong. Doing the Pod Eastern play makes a lot of sense. Just get it done and over.
I think because they're both crystals, you're kind of forced to do them anyway, so it would make more sense.
Yeah, there's no reason not to do them.
Just in case that is the one check that has it.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. Koi, yeah, we're going to be I think we're going to be entering Swamp at about the same time, because that's all that's left other than Turtle Rock. Which is, if you're not already up there, kind of a not great play.
Yeah, it's a big time investment to get up to Turtle Rock in the first place, and then go through Turtle Rock to then find out, oh, well, the fire's not here.
But yeah, beyond Swamp, what do we have? There's a second item in Hera. We have Ped. If it is Ped, Azure would be, I don't know if he'd actually be advantaged or not. Because if we're only looking for Fire Rod, and if they know it's Ped, it depends on whether you go into Ice Palace. Like, Azur's only going into Ice Palace if he's checked Ped. I don't think you just walk in there to do it. Whereas Koi, if he goes back into Ice Palace, he might go back in to finish the dungeon and get the other two items. But yeah, so we have those locations, and we have 6 chests plus the green pendant out of Swamp, and I just can't see not doing Swamp first. So it's going to be pretty even, because Koi's going to do this. He's going to finish this Mire fight a lot faster than Azur's going to finish the two dungeons he has to do. But I gotta believe Koi's going to do purple chest. Big Bomb after this. Yeah, I see Spike Cave being mentioned. Neither one has anything in their bottles. It takes 14 hearts to do Spike Cave out of logic without a safety item. So they're not quite there yet. They would need to fill their bottles to do that. So I don't think Spike Cave is high on your priority list right now. Yep, and there Koi's floating to 4. I have no doubt he's going to pick up that Big Bomb. Because again, there's no reason to rush Mire if you're not going to pick this up. Nice Helma from Azure. And Koi indeed heading up for that purple chest. Looks like Koi's going to get the... he did the thing that I sometimes do, which is for it to actually buy the bomb. He figured it out pretty darn quickly, though, so... But I think Koi's going to get into Swamp just a little bit ahead, assuming that's where he goes. Yeah. But Azure's going to make very quick work of this Eastern, so it's going to be really close.
It is a very quick in and out, because we were here earlier, we did get all the checks, so it is just straight to the boss.
And with silvers, it's a very quick. Koi going to fill his bottle and get red. Okay, red's good. Ideally you want blue, but, it's not a B, so yay. Okay, where are we going next, Koi? Oh, no, Koi, no. Okay, this I don't like. I'm sorry, Koi. I absolutely, if you're watching this later, I hate this play. You abandoned ice after the first chest already. I think you got to stay with that play.
Yeah, so one of those you need to commit to it.
Literally.
Like you've actively chose to stay out for a reason.
Yeah. The only way this pays off if the answer is PED. That's it. That's the only way this pays off. If the answer is
chooses to finish it.
Yeah. So yeah, don't like this at all. Sorry, Koi. Yeah, I will point out, like, these two are two of my absolute favorite runners. They're both really good friends of mine. I sub to both of them, so I can't say enough good things about these two. And it's just a joy to be able to watch them race. The answer to chat: no, Fire Rod can't be an ice because we've seen all the items on Azder's side. The only way this pays out for Koi is if he finishes the dungeon and the answer is PED. Now, it could still be PED. PED is not dead.
But if you're running this seed, that is definitely not what you want to see.
Okay, Azder's just going to go bet on Swamp, it looks like. And I do expect if the answer is not Swamp, and he'll check PED, because at that point his choices will be the other item in Hera or PED. I mean, that's what it'll be down to at that point. And there's no guarantee Koi does finish this, but I think you have to now if you're coming back in. I will laugh if it's first chest is the Fire Rod, because remember we could have checked that first chest forever ago when we were still looking for the mirror. That'd be really funny. Okay, okay, Koi, yeah, Koi at least is gonna do the big chest before he does iced tea. That'll save him some time, because the item's here. Okay, yeah, he is gonna finish this out.
Although he didn't hit the switch.
No, he's fine. Yeah, there's no reason to hit the switch if you're full clearing. Okay, so if they had checked the first chest, the Swamp, with the mirror before they had the hammer, they would have been sad and just gotten a piece of art. Honestly, if I'm a runner, checking it now, I don't want to see I don't want to see my Fire Rod in that first chest. Because, then I worry about, did my opponent check this forever ago? As a commentary, knowing they both skipped it, I think it would have been funny. And for what it's worth, Samaria was required for Ice Palace. Or should say logically required. Okay, Azure doesn't get the big key, does get a map. I do expect him to go straight to the back here. You're looking for one item. This is the item dense direction. Yeah, and Koi's gonna follow Azure into Swamp.
Like, yeah, if you don't find the big key, chances are it's in the back, so best place to go.
Yeah, I'm the big thing without the big key, I just hate having to then make a decision if the big key is down here. I hate to have to make the decision. Oh, there it is. It's go mode for Azure. Koi will get it shortly thereafter. Azure checking another chest just in case there's something good, but I'm not entirely sure what he'd be looking for at this point. So yeah, big advantage Azure. But yeah, like what I don't like about the left side play when you don't have the big key is then inevitably, if it's not on the left side exactly, then you're going back in to the left side to do. You're going back in just for the big chest because you've already done the left side, and that's pretty painful. Yeah, this would have been really close if Koi just goes straight to Swamp. I have questions for him for why he decided to go back into Ice. Like, I was a big fan of leaving it. Like, Azure kept going, but I've said this in other races, and I've seen other races where one player gets the item in the first chest, and I'm like, just leave. And even though they're looking for other things, and one player leaves with the first item, the other person stays and goes and finishes clearing the dungeon after getting that first item. And inevitably, it's come to, the difference in time was about that. So I've absolutely seen that exact scenario work out for the player that skipped out. So Koi going back in really surprised me.
Yeah, I'm of the same sort of play where it's like you make the commitment, you choose to leave.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you don't go back in. It's like you made your decision.
Yep. Yeah, I would have. Yeah, I would have left for the cane and just never looked back. So I disagree with both of the way these guys handled it, as it turns out. But I hate. Sorry, Koi. I hate your choice more. And just the big key on Moth. The good news for both runners is the fire rod, the order they end up doing their pendant dungeons in worked out well, and getting their dumb items, because every pendant had an item. We had Mitts in Mire, we had Kane in Ice, and now Koi's about to find his fire rod in Swamp. Also, really glad he didn't decide to do left side first. With one item, I'm not a fan of it. Even if you get like big key map compass, I'm not a huge fan of left side first, although that would make me think about it. But yeah, so Koi's about a Skullwoods behind now. Maybe a little more than that, 'cause he's got to get there, and Azur's already halfway up the mountain.
Still plenty of time for things to shift in either runner's
Yeah,
favor.
at this point, Azure would have to make a really big mistake for Koi to catch up. Now, these things can happen. It's not over by any stretch, but it's real tough when you're in that big mistake range. And we're going to be able to go mode Turtle Rock, which is really nice. I mean, go mode Turtle Rock, not that different from regular Turtle Rock. I would call it the second worst go mode dungeon in the game, where the first is Thieves Town, but you almost never get to go mode Thieves Town anyway.
Yeah, the only real difference is do you skip the big chest or not?
No, you're skipping the big chest. Like, it's a less than 5% chance, and you expect your opponents doing it as well. One of these days, I'm actually going to figure out what the exact number is, but because I hear everything from like 2.5 to 5%. So I've just gotten to the point where I just say, well, I know it's less than 5. So
Yeah, the number I've heard thrown around recently is 3%, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure it was like 1.6 or something like that. But
yeah.
I don't have the skills to do that kind of math.
And then we get the big key on the right side. Now, the curious part here, and I'm going to pay attention a little bit to this, is how far could we have gotten through without the fire rock? Because that big key being on the right side potentially gets us all the way to Mimic Cave. This will have to be a small key here, and so will the next one. Actually, I think that guarantees us getting all the way to Mimic Cave, if either one of them had dipped Turtle Rock as a choice. Boy, running up the mountain. As you're waiting out the chain chomps. Okay.
Yep. As we're on the hard item pool, there is no armor upgrades, so those change homes hard on green mail.
Yep. Azure will be able to powder some anti-fairies in just a little bit, so he should be fine. Or he could just not.
Who needs health?
Okay, there we go. Yeah, Azure likes to live on the edge on some of these, and anything that's going to cost him time, he's reluctant to do. And we got the key steal. Oh, okay. I was wondering. He was thinking about going outside. I'm not sure if that was a little muscle memory, not remembering he was in go mode or what that was, but. All right, we can even skip laser bridge. That's really nice. I mean, there's really nothing else. I mean, a cane or a cape would be literally the only thing that would make any sort of difference, and neither one of these guys needs a cane or a cape to get through GT and or Ganon. Because we already have silvers, it's hard item pool, so we have the max sword already. No armor upgrades. I fully expect Koi also is going to skip the big chest as well, so he'll have the same nice key layout. This is a really nice Hero Rock key layout for Go mode. Actually, probably as good as it gets, really.
Yeah, after a pretty rough start, it's started to be a bit rewarding at the end.
Our tracker, we have not shout out our tracker yet. Huffpuff1337, doing a great job behind the scenes, clicking those buttons. Always the MVPs of our tournaments. Pointing says it's about 2.5 minutes lead right now, and that's because it was about a Skull Woods. That feels about right. Just a hurt piece. Uh-oh. We get numbers. Well, we got 2 numbers. Okay, there they are. There they come. Thoris, why are we seeing numbers?
It could be to do with a small chance of where this big key is for Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, if you want to guess, go ahead and put your number in chat and then tell me if you won, because I ain't going back and looking.
Yep, pick a number between 1 and 22, because there's 22 possible locations in the basement for where
I like to. I just like to say pick any number you want. Just don't expect to win if it's not an integer between 1 and 22, inclusive. Some people like to have a little bit of fun.
And the fun game is when you're playing Key Sanity, and it's like, which number between 1 and 216 is it?
Yeah, I know, right? And invariably someone will have tried to figure it out. But okay, as you're starting with Hope Room, gets a small key. He's gonna mirror out. He's gonna go to the left. Now, Azure does not have one standard key route, so don't be surprised if he leaves Stalfos Room and goes to the right side. He does do that sometimes. Koi has been employing the Rando Rush, as he calls it, a lot lately, so I fully expect to see that from him. And number 7 incoming. And it looks like we are going to continue left. I mean, I asked Azure before these races started if knowing that Koi was going to do Rando Rush, if that would affect his big key routing at all, and he said no. But it's got to be nice to think that you know your opponent's not getting to that compass side quickly. You maybe get a little worried if you don't see the key in Rando Room, and you then hope it's in the back. Okay, so that was 8 in the Firebar Room.
Like, there's a lot of factors that play into how you decide to go through Ganon, especially if you're feeling behind.
Yeah, that's 9. Yeah, Azur's been known to pull the tile room play if he really feels behind. But yeah, he's probably, of all the runners I've called, he's probably the least predictable. So this will be 10, 11, 12, 13. Looks like 11, I think. I'm counting right. I'm bad at counting. I'm better at subtracting at the end, but there's too many. I have to count the number of ones he hasn't gotten. So Koi's Rando Rush is going to pay out. But not by enough. Congratulations to whoever said 11. Apologies, I'm not going to go back through the chat and look. All right, Koi is doing the Rando Rush as expected. As you're in the gauntlet. Really nice to have silver arrows up here.
Aster just destroyed that gauntlet. No effort whatsoever.
Yeah, he's played this game a few times before. Both these guys have. Okay, Koi's about to get his big key. He'll mirror on out. And he'll start his climb. Okay. Don't even need to kill the mini Helma, we've got small keys. Azure gets his health refill from the anti-fairies and a nice the net magic refill from the pot. Makes quick work of Moldorm too.
I was like, someone would think Ganon would need to employ better enemies in his tower, because there's none of them are stopping either of our runners.
Azder into Agatu. I don't think he got any hits on the second one there. That's never feels good. Gets a double there. Yeah, he got 3 doubles. Unfortunately, he got a 0 in there as well. But, you know, 4 round, you take it.
Like you can get some really nice patterns, and then you get some really awful ones, and Azder made those awful ones work for him.
As we get goose facts from Ganon. Azder, well versed in the 1-in-1. Ganon going into the nice upper right corner spot where you can get some nice free sword spins.
Yeah, it's definitely a nice phase skip.
Does take a fire bat, but he's got 15 hearts, so he's fine. Yeah, one of the things that really amazes me is when top runners are able to in that, especially in that second round, when the runners are really good at using the hookshot iframes to avoid the fire bats. It's just not something I'm good at. And it's just really fun to watch a good Ganon fight in that way.
It's definitely something that turns up a lot in particularly silverless strategies with Master Sword. It's like trying to save as much energy and health as you can.
And get your GGs in chat for Azder, finishing up with well, we'll let him cross the bridge, but finishing up, we'll cross that bridge with an official race time of 1:47.16. GGs to Azder, splitting this series with Koi, so that's going to leave him at 1-1. Koi will go to 2-2 in the group, with lots of group matches still to be played. And we'll go ahead and watch Koi finish this out, and then hopefully we can get both of them into chat. And Koi just finishing up the Agatu fight, so he'll drop into Ganon. Looks like he also has 15 hearts, which is not really a surprise, because there weren't a lot of things. I'm trying to think if there was literally anything that one of them got, the other didn't. I think in the end, they checked all the same locations.
And that was pretty much all the locations in the game, because
yeah,
just trying to find where progression was, we were pretty much last location and everything.
Yeah, we missed an item in Hera. We never did Spike Cave. We missed Laser Bridge, you know? So we missed some stuff in Turtle Rock, but that's about it. And of course, GT. It'll be interesting to see the item collection rates. They should be really, really close. Koi already on phase 3. Yeah, chat pointing out Koi got an extra pendant. And Koi is going to have a really nice phase 4 here to finish it up. And he will cross that bridge with an official race time of 1:43.39. Spoilers, he doesn't fall. And we'll get both the runners in to chat about this. Azder, I see you're already in there. GG's to you. And he'll have to unmute. And Koi can... Yeah, there we go. We got both of them. Koi and Azder. GG's, guys.
GG, both of you.
GG.
So
That was disgusting. That was just such a terrible save.
It really was. So in the end, I mean, it was very breadcrumby, as I like to say. In the end, Koi, why did you go back into Ice Palace? Like, it would have been super close.
Because if Azder went to Swamp first, like you would expect most people to do, I lose if I don't go to Ice.
Okay.
Because like if the Fire Rod's just in Swamp and you go to Swamp first, then you get the Fire Rod. Maybe you do left side Swamp, but then you have nowhere to go because the Fire Rod doesn't do anything. So you just go back. You just go to Ice and leave after one chest.
Mm-hmm.
So if my opponent went to Swamp first, I have to go to Ice.
Okay.
I mean, I talked to Azder. Azder said that's the reason why he stayed in Ice as well.
Yeah, he full cleared it except the boss, and you know by the time you got there the second time,
yeah, it makes sense to skip the boss because you still have Pyramid Fairy. Oh, it's probably just Pyramid Fairy, right? But I did Pyramid Fairy first, so when I come back, I'm like, okay, well, if it's Swamp, I just lose. So
and at your point, your best bet was Pedestal. At the point
I was gonna kill Argus and skip left side, do Hera and Blindfold Pet. That was the plan.
Yeah, I like that part of the plan. But yeah, the interesting. We had all the dungeons. Yeah, so you went and did Purple Chest. Azure went and did Ice. And Azure, is that why you did Ice? You figured Koi would do Swamp?
Yeah. Because I made a big mistake. I went to Back of Escape with no bombs, and then I think the prize pack actually was one with the bomb in it, and I didn't identify it, and I left.
I wasn't sure because I saw because I didn't see the first drop.
It was a magic, I think.
I missed the first
I think it was
drop.
a small magic. I could have been wrong.
Yeah, if the first drop was a small magic, there was a bomb in the pack, but none of us, I don't think, were sure if the first drop was a small magic. So yeah, that was. I
was checking the rats when I went back there because I only had one bomb. So and I wanted to do a Gina afterwards, so I needed to get one more bomb. So I remember checking the rats, but they dropped like a rupee first, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's not right. That's not a pack.
Oh, rupee. No. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That might have been what messed me up. I was like,
because it should have been a magic first, but I killed a rat and missed the magic.
No, but
drop.
there's other things. What other things share the prize pack? Right?
Guards.
So you would have. No, not guards, but
guards.
But there are other things that share that prize pack. That you could have killed on the overworld.
Guards and snakes are the one.
Yeah.
There was nothing because you come from a save and quit, so the price packs had reset. So it had to have been a rat that dropped the small magic. I killed the rat in the first dark room, like where the heart pot is. But I didn't see him drop anything. But maybe he dropped something and I just missed it. Because I never saw the small magic. So, but I mean, I wouldn't have farmed the rats for a bomb anyway because it was so many and I already had one.
Yeah, you had the one you needed, and Azure didn't. Which was really unfortunate, and got you into the. Well, actually, I mean, Azure got to the Dark World first, but were you just hoping that Moon Pearl was going to be sitting there on the pyramid ledge? I mean, you knew that wasn't likely.
Oh, would you skip?
Well, it was a 1 in 3 at that point. It was 1 in 3.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because Map was in the back.
Yeah.
No, he didn't skip anything. You guys both did everything. Azure even fake flipper to Zora.
I wanted to skip things, but the seed wouldn't let me.
Yeah,
so
I
was just like, okay, so I just made a huge mistake that most people aren't gonna make. And I am probably way behind because I killed Aga hoping for Moon Pearl and Pyramid, and then to go back in, I had to take the Uncle Hole without boost, so I could get in the castle without hitting the portal. And it was just so slow. And then it's like, okay, go to pod, do everything in pod, get the flute. Oh, yeah, that's
the out of logic ice rod. The flute opened I saw the flute. I'm like, what does that even open? Oh wait, we don't have a glove yet.
Yeah.
I spent the whole seed thinking I must have just forgot something. What did I skip? Oh my god! Because I get the flute, and it's like, okay, well that unlocks 2 checks, so it's here or I forgot something.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a glove. Okay, so it's Zora or Catfish or I forgot something. Okay, there's a bottle. It's Cicada or I forgot something.
That was we were pretty confident neither one of you had forgotten anything because it would have been both of you forgot something. But that chain to get you to regular Dark World axes where you even could start diverging. There was no divergence until you both dipped Mire, and then Azure made the call to go to Ice, and Koi, you made the call to do Smith Chain, which both were required. So you know, they both were good calls and both came up with things, but.
Like your options were Caneless Ice, Full Clear Pendant Swamp, or Smith Sequence, and but
those are all bad.
Meyer's looking pretty good right there. I really like the Meyer dip in that situation. It's too bad it didn't lead to anything.
Yeah,
it was a good big key. Well, it had a sword and big chest, and it was a late big key, so it was.
Yeah, we never saw the green 20, so that sword was good for both of you. We never saw the fourth sword. Because if you wait on Meyer, which you could have, because Pyramid Fairy also had nothing.
Well, you'd have to wait on Meyer and on Ice, because like if you do Ice before Meyer, you just go to Meyer right after.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah,
neither of us did either of those things.
Yeah, like if your go mode is Canis Samaria, you're probably not getting that tempered sword, and if you're not getting that, and we didn't see the gold sword, so I mean that at least okay. So getting the tempered sword, but yeah, that was I think the best key layout you can get in that situation, because you know your opponent's going to be doing cutscene chests, and you know you have to do it because you see the small key, and you know, I mean, even if you get like the first two checks, I guess the only better one would be like big key item, you know, but that's pretty rare.
Yeah, that kind of bails you out too in a different way.
Yeah,
I was very happy with that Meyer layout.
Why is chat heckling me, Tracy? This is mean.
I don't know.
Don't be mean to me just because I died Thieves Town.
I don't understand the Thieves Town comment there.
I died. I died.
Oh, you did die.
It was sad. I was getting bullied so hard.
They really were bullying.
Like I got bumped by the Moblin when you go from brewery to chess game. That dash right there. He usually isn't all the way up to the top. So you dash a little off the bottom so you can go through him. But he was all the way up to the top. So instead of dashing through him, I bumped him and lost 2 hearts. And then I go into Thieves Town and I got bullied real hard in the hellway. And then I got bullied by the grasshopper, and then I'm coming down to the big chest, and like I try to powder in a place where I never powdered before, and I got bumped by the Patrick Star, and then the 8th Fury's coming up, and I hit the powder button, but the Patrick Star had actually pushed me into the doorway, and you can't use Y items when you're in a doorway. So they instead of powdering the Anti-Fairy, which would have worked, he just killed me.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
It wasn't like the biggest time loss ever, but any time loss against someone like azder is the biggest time loss ever.
Sure. But yeah, I mean, Koi, you went to Desert first. So that was a small diversion, Koi going to Desert, azder, you doing it a little bit later.
Wait, I did it late? Oh,
later.
Yeah, okay.
You both dipped it early for nothing.
I was afraid that early dip was gonna like put me behind with the back of escape mistake as well. But like as the seed went on, I was very happy that I had looked there before. Because
like I said, you both did everything you possibly could.
To do it.
I mean, like Koi even went into Eastern in a situation that I know he doesn't like to go into Eastern, but I kept saying like you have nothing to do once you get to the Dark World. You know,
look,
I'm big on rushing Aga.
I'm not afraid of the Aga rush, okay? Like, if a seed is screaming Aga at me, I often do it before doing something like Bowless Pendant Eastern or fake flippering and stuff. But this seed, like, you kill Aga and then...
Then what?
The pyramid and I guess go to pod and hope it's not bow locked. I didn't even have a bottle.
No bow, no hook shot, no
hammer, no glove for catfish.
No.
And I can't mimic clip, so like no bottle. I can't even guarantee items out of pod. It might just be big key in the first chest and you leave.
Yep.
It's just it was like doing Aga early in this particular seed was not a great play.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'll rush Aga before doing an Eastern play too, but not if I have nothing to do in the Dark World.
It's just unfortunate because my routing up to that point was to avoid Aga. So having to do it at the end, it makes everything feel really inefficient. Like, because I went to the Uncle, and then I went to the Escape, and then I went back for Aga. So that was 3 trips to Hyrule Castle.
Well, you had the lamp the first time in. azder did Uncle and Escape and then left because he hadn't done Mini Moldorm. Why did you do that before Mini Moldorm?
I was trying to spike either another 300 or a Pearl for Zora.
Okay.
And I got part of what I wanted, out of that. But then it was like, oh, well, I missed the lamp, and now I probably have to go back there. So that sucks.
Yeah, and I'm assuming since the map didn't show up, like, would you have done if the map had showed up? Would you have gone to the back?
Yeah,
Without the lamp? Yeah,
probably.
Yeah, that's a real feels bad if you go to Dark Cross in the dark and it's your map. You know?
Yeah, I was like on the way to that chest, and then I was like, wait, I don't have any bombs. I hope it's not a key. Because I was going Eastern, and I'm just like, okay, I've got one bomb. I'm going to use it for Saha. I don't need a bomb for anything else. I'm probably going to get some in a chest or something. Or like, I'm just going to get Darkhold access. Or I'm going to get Aga itself, right? Yep. And then I'm going to get Moon Pearl here. I was expecting Moon Pearl at Saha. Then I was going to go do Aga.
And then you checked your prize. You pre-checked your stun prize, and I think it was a heart.
Yeah.
Bombs are really hard to get in the early game. I did all 3 triples before Kakariko.
I forgot to buy bombs in Kakariko for some reason. And then I got bailed out by the sword at Dick Spot, and I felt good about that. But I think that actually hurt me because if I bought bombs, then like I would have had them. I would have had
That's how that works.
But yeah, and then like going into Dark World was like, okay, this like the seed is absolute linear trash, and like the correct play is to do everything else first. So Koi is probably going into Dark World and thinking like he's like 100% sure that he's behind just because the way the seed is. And the really funny thing is he's probably not. He doesn't know it.
Yeah, that's often how it works. Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so what am I gonna do? What's my game plan? I was like, I want to skip Catfish. Let's skip Catfish because the Catfish is the corner you cut when you have something go wrong like that. And I couldn't.
It was the only thing left. And then it was a bottle.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I mean, the race was really close throughout. It was not a definitive lead until azder went into Swamp first. Koi, had you not gone back to Ice Palace, it would have been close. There's no guarantee you would have won. I think you would have gotten to Swamp a little bit earlier than azder, so we would have had a really close race on our hands. And
it's a game of imperfect information. Like not knowing what my opponent does, I have to assume that they do things that makes sense.
I asked you for a split, right?
So
I asked you for a split and you obliged, so there you go.
Because I think that going into Ice before Swamp was crazy. Like that was the low percent play. That was the big gamble. Yeah. And when you make the big gamble, you assume that your opponent isn't making the big gamble.
And
we both did it, so it didn't matter.
Yeah, you did it in different orders because Koi got the bow first and azder got the cane first. But then you swapped.
There was a world. I thought there was a world where you like skip Smith sequence or something. So like I knew I was probably behind when I was like going to TR and stuff. But like it was possible like you did Swamp first and then got the cane or like okay, let's go to Turtle Rock looking for the bow and Ice Rod. But
I was hoping that like when I was going into Turtle Rock, I was like, okay, if he did Swamp first like a normal person and he got Fire Rod and he came here or like no, not Fire Rod. If he got Cane first and he missed Fire Rod and he came here somehow, if somehow that happened.
Oh, that never would have happened.
But I was paying attention to the key layout and then it like let you go all the way to Laser Bridge.
Yeah,
yeah.
No.
Big Key was in.
Big Key was on. You could have gotten to Mimic Cave, but you couldn't have gotten to Laser Bridge. Yeah.
Yeah, right. It was a bad one. I wasn't expecting it, but it was on my mind.
Yeah, you were thinking about that when you were going through it. I'm like, well, let's see what would have happened if either one of them had gone to Turtle Rock without the Fire Rod.
I was thinking of making that play, but then it was just like, no, that's like all in on Kane, and it's like if Kane has nothing behind it, then I automatically lose, and that's the kind of situation where it's like, oh, you got a required item from a pendant dungeon, and it made you lose, and I didn't want to be in that situation.
Yeah, a classic rando where finding progression was actually bad.
Yeah, it happens, You
found the thing, you idiot. You found the wrong thing. You're supposed to find that later.
All right. Well, I mean, it was a pleasure to call these two races. You got the split that I asked you for, Koi. So.
Yeah. Now I have to hope that Illis 2-0s azder to have a chance, or azder 2-0s Illis. That works too.
I think either 2-0 works, right?
Yeah. I have a winning record against Illis from fall 2018 tourney.
Yeah, and the big wild card is Dapper Wormman hasn't played a seed yet. So.
Yeah, I mean,
you played one. You played one.
Oh, did he? Oh, okay. I didn't catch that.
Like whoever drops a game to Dapper Wormman is in a really disadvantageous position.
Yeah.
Wait, what happens if azder gets 0-2'd or 2-0'd by Illis? azder loses to Illis hard, but then I drop a game to Dapper Wormman and azder doesn't.
I'm not going to sit here and try and do that math right now.
I think I win the tiebreaker because Illis would be the higher seeded opponent that wasn't.
So my understanding is a 2-0 record will against a player you're tied against will put you through regardless, whether it be seeding advantage or
no. We have the same record. We're 1-1 against each other.
Okay, so then
like the next tiebreaker would be the seeding would be opponent.
Yeah, the seeding tiebreaker only applies. My understanding is seeding tiebreaker only applies if it's 4 seeding, like 1 versus 2. But if it's 2 versus 3, then you play. That's my understanding.
If you win head-to-head against somebody, I don't think you.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, head-to-head matchup, I think does not get a play. Like if one of you. I mean, we know this is not going to happen because you've already won 1 with Illis.
I got the rules here. Let me read it.
Got it up there. But I think a 2-0 does get you in without a play-in at the 2 versus 3.
If the runners split their races with each other, then the positioning will be determined by the runner's record against the strongest runner outside of the 2 of us who are tied. So I guess it's not the seeding that matters. It's whether Illis or Dapper Wormman has the higher record at the end.
Okay, but that's still only for 1 versus 2, I think. I think you play it out if it's 2 versus 3.
What?
Yeah, tiebreaker game.
2 versus. What are you talking about?
Yeah, if you tie, if one of you if you're tied for the second spot, not the first spot, right?
Why would that matter?
Because somebody else is already number 1, and then you're tied with somebody for 2 and 3. I think that gets played.
Like there's a little extra thing. If the tie is between runners in the second and third in the group, then the strongest runner outside of the 2 who are tied is the first. Oh god, this is so confusing. Whichever runner has a better record against the first place runner will break the tie. Well, that's the same thing. I said that.
Oh, you did say. Okay, so that's I don't like that. I think if nobody 2-0 someone, you're tied for the second spot. You should play it out if it's 1-1. That's okay. Whatever.
Yeah, so it would be whoever had the stronger record against the person who got first.
They clearly don't want tiebreakers, but I don't like it. I don't like it. Sorry, Rywak, I see you explaining in chat. I get trying to avoid tiebreakers, and I think trying to avoid tiebreakers for 1 versus 2 is all. Yeah, I'm 100% on board with that. But 2 versus 3, yeah, I have to disagree. But I'm not running this tournament. I'll do it my way when I run my tournaments. So
assign value to wins.
Yeah. I like that better than initial seeding, though, at least.
So like winning against the person who had the worst record is worth less than the person who had the best record.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, like I said, I'm not running this one. When I run my SM tournaments, we'll do it a different way, but that's a whole nother story.
We're still on pace for the 3-way tiebreaker, though.
It could happen. Yeah. Yeah, the tourney fatigue is definitely a factor, I would point out. He doesn't want someone to have more fatigue than someone else, and that's fair. In the end, there's no perfect way anyway, so, you know. Okay, now that we've muddled or cleared that, I'm not sure if we cleared that up or muddled it up, but is there anything else either you want to say before we close this out?
No. I didn't mean to start a whole thing. I was just speculating about the way the group could play out.
Yeah, okay, Asher, you got anything? I'm hearing crickets.
His mic is muted.
Yeah, I see that. Alright, so I'm going to take that as a no. Go ahead and follow these guys if you aren't already. Definitely good follows. Koi, Link to the Past every night, all the time. Except when he plays SMZ3. for a sub goal. But yeah,
I would never.
You'd never do that. Azder, working on some Super Metroid stuff as well. As you saw, his start screen was, or before his start screen when his stream came up. So lots of good things from these guys.
That reminds me. I want to personally apologize to whoever is doing setup helper for this race because I was running late and I started my stream and then like within 30 seconds I started playing. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I mean it happens. But yeah. Thank you to those runners. Go ahead and follow them. Thank you to Thoris for joining me on comms. Huffpuff doing the tracking, doing the hard work behind the scenes. Always our MVPs. Upcoming schedule. There were a couple other races going on at the same time. I have no idea if they're still going on, but let's see. Next new restream will be at 7:10 over on SpeedGaming 6. That'll be Gilgamesh versus Skeeter. It's set at also at 7:10. We have on the main SpeedGaming channel. We have the aforementioned Rywek versus Freddy. Over on SpeedGaming 3 at 8:20, we have Big Dunka versus Wall Kicks. And rounding out, we got two more. We got at 9:10, we have Hexadus versus So. That'll be on SpeedGaming 2. And at 11:10, rounding out the schedule for tonight, we have on the main SpeedGaming channel at Fred Coughlin versus PRD Wong. And then, nothing yet on the schedule for tomorrow, but lots of races. So keep an eye out on tomorrow's schedule. And I know you, Koi, are playing Dapper Wormman tomorrow, so good luck to you on that one.
Yeah, I'm going to finish out my group this week, so I can have a whole week off.
Yay! So you won't have that fatigue. But good luck to both of you in your next races. And Thoris, good times. Had a good time. Thank you for joining me again.
Yep, thank you for joining me too.
And that'll close us out, and we'll see you all at the next race.